All right, so we have the first beginnings of the stream set. Okay, now I need to get. Actually, I'll work on camera later. I want to watch stuff first. Okay, we're not hearing this in OBS, so let's get on the audio bandwagon. We are going to set this to default. Nope. Okay, nope, I think we got that time.
I don't know how the hell we got here, but
There we are.
finally made it to the arc of the storyline where His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, has been canceled because he did some weird-ass nonsense. And we are in no way trying to brush off or take away from the absolute creepiness of it, but it is absurd to wake up to multiple variations of headlines Monday morning that read, Dalai Lama apologizes for asking young boy to suck on his tongue. And I guess we would be...
You fucking what, mate? It's definitely all I can say is you fucking what, mate? Like, huh? It's gotta stop, man. It's gotta stop. It's getting ridiculous.
Be more shocked if this and worse weren't so common within various religions, but there is something so typically chill about the Buddhist religion that, definitely makes this seem a bit more out of place and shocking. It's insane, and it's even weirder because this Dalai Lama has been representing the religion internationally for nearly 100 years. So it's like if the Queen did some weird shit in public, which she has, and probably done weirder shit behind the scenes, but, it's just startling.
It's because they're royals.
I guess he's canceled now, so Dalai Lama's canceled.
This wouldn't be the first time either, though. Back in 2015 and again in 2019, the Dalai Lama stated that he was pro-women's rights and a feminist, indicating that once he dies and the Lama is reincarnated, I don't know, the next Dalai Lama might be a woman, but only if she ain't ugly.
Yeah, that's the one.
No fat chicks. From his 2015 statement on the subject, the female must be attractive, otherwise it's not much use. And when asked if he was joking, he replied, no, true. But back to this latest issue, which is obviously gross,
fantastic,
totally out of pocket, and just plain bizarre. His Holiness did that thing where you say some weird shit, and if someone gets offended, you back it up with, what? Hey, I was just joking. No, I guess comedy's illegal now. Everyone's too sensitive these days.
To be fair, it's his reps that say that, but they're just covering up the tracks here. They're just like,
yeah.
Look, it's a funny joke. His Holiness likes to make funny jokes. I thought comedy was legal again.
Yeah, why aren't you laughing at this?
Maybe we should hold our leaders accountable for their actions
the
instead.
Was intentionally seeking some kind of weird sexual gratification out of this. But again, pretty weird, very bizarre.
There was a couple articles that were like, actually, this is
trying to get all my stream monitors up.
Sign of respect, sticking out your tongue, and so you could say that maybe. And I just stopped reading. I was like, "There's no way that this doesn't come off as creepy." I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's.
Anyways, His Holiness has apologized, and we wish that we hadn't already given you the context for the apology, because his statement doesn't provide any context at all.
It's also, he's just straight up lies. The Dalai Lama is gaslighting the world.
He is, yeah, he's certainly doing that. And because there is no context attached to the statement, when you just see it out of the blue, it's very strange, and you're like, huh, well, what's he referencing here? And this has resulted in one of the weirdest Twitter community birdwatch follow-ups in at least
all right, now I got both my chats up, so I can see YouTube and I can see
Here's
Twitch.
The tweet from the Dalai Lama, who may or may not have paid for Twitter Blue. A video clip has been circulating that shows a recent meeting when a young boy asked His Holiness
if anyone has,
if he could give him a hug. His Holiness wishes to apologize.
Just as a pause, if anyone's been in chats, I can now see the chats. I was not able to see them before, so if you wanted to say hi, or you want to put a message in chat, you want to do a, hey, how do I fix this? Now's the time, guys. I actually can see chat. I can see what's going on. I'm not just a blank face. I'm trying to get my camera set up. Give me a few.
Apologize to the boy and his family, as well as his many friends across the world, for the hurt his words may have caused. His Holiness often teases people he meets in an innocent and playful way, even in public and before cameras. He regrets the incident. What's this in reference to? Well, readers added context they thought people might want to know. The Dalai Lama is facing backlash for kissing a child on the lips and then asking the same child to suck his tongue. Oh, yeah, that is weird.
Also, the replies to the apology were just incredible in their own right. Keep in mind that the role of the Dalai Lama is essentially a lifelong sentence as the spiritual leader and only transferable upon death.
He has resigned politically, but that was like years and years ago. But you cannot resign as the spiritual leader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you're still breathing and living, you
So-
are the Dalai Lama, sir.
So he posted that tweet, and yeah.
Yeah. So one user replied to the apology saying, "Not good enough. Resign."
Oh my god. Fantastic.
That's the only. This is the only way you can tell someone to kill themselves on Twitter without violating TOS.
When it's someone like who has to be reincarnated.
Yeah, literally like a lifelong appointment that you can't get out of without dying.
Not good enough.
But speaking of someone who should resign, over the weekend, everyone's favorite governor, well, second favorite governor after Ron DeSantis,
Yeah.
Texas's governor Greg Abbott, decided to do a little preemptive pardoning in the case of a man who was convicted of shooting and killing a Black Lives Matter protester in 2020. Despite what that pesky legal system and a fucking jury has to say, Greg Abbott decided to just jump ahead of the sentencing and let everyone know that shooting protesters is not only A-OK, but also results in zero consequences.
Yeah.
You can't really imagine that he would have the same thing to say if, I don't know, the protesters were on his side of the political...
I was gonna say, this is so fucking stupid because this is just gonna, and then all the idiots on that side are gonna be like, yeah, we're fucking up the that side, but now when they do the same exact thing against you guys, they already have set the precedence where they're gonna just shoot you. Now what? You don't think they're gonna do that? Well, why? They clearly did it to us and nothing happened. Why would they not do it to you? Are you that ignorant?
aisle, which makes it even more insane that he's pardoning a now convicted murderer who literally texted the following to a friend before the incident. "I might have to kill a few people on my way to work. They are rioting outside my apartment complex. And I might go to Dallas to shoot looters."
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Sounds like he, that's what in the legal community we call that premeditation.
Yep.
And that is a very important qualifier for a murder charge.
Yeah, now according to the Austin Chronicle, Perry speculated about how he might get away with such a killing by claiming self-defense,
Huh.
which is
Huh.
what he did in his murder trial.
Weird.
The reporting adds that during the trial, quote, prosecutors presented a Facebook Messenger chat between Perry and a friend, Michael Holcomb, which occurred 2 weeks before he shot Foster. In it, Perry argued that shooting protesters was legal if it was in self-defense.
Cool.
So the result of the 2-week trial was a guilty verdict for Perry with a potential sentence of life in prison. He's scheduled to be sentenced on Tuesday of this week, but shortly after the verdict was handed down, Governor Greg Abbott wheeled in to issue a statement claiming that he will pardon Daniel Perry, saying on Twitter, of
That's
all places,
fucking gross.
"I am working as swiftly as Texas law allows regarding the pardon of Sergeant Perry," with his full statement reading, "Texas has one of the strongest stand-your-ground laws of self-defense that cannot be nullified by a jury or a progressive district attorney. Unlike the president or some other states, the Texas Constitution limits the governor's pardon."
It's still murder. It's still murder.
Authority to only act on a recommendation by the Board of Pardons and
Remember, they're only legalizing it for their side. Hold your leaders accountable. Nothing's gonna change until we do.
Paroles. Texas law does allow the governor to request the Board of Pardons and Paroles to determine if a person should be granted a pardon. I have made that request and instructed the board to expedite its review. I look forward to approving the board's pardon recommendation as soon as it hits my desk. Additionally, I have already prioritized reining in rogue district attorneys, and the Texas legislature is working on laws to achieve that goal.
So to be clear, the protester was holding a rifle, which is of course very, very legal in Texas. You can do that. But according to multiple witnesses and police reports, it was never raised or pointed at Perry, which would have triggered the stand your ground law. In fact, when his rifle was examined afterwards, it still had the safety on and no rounds in the chamber, according to the Austin Chronicle. Also, a fucking trial happened. A jury reviewed all the evidence and witness testimony and decided that the stand your ground law was not applicable. This is how trials work.
Yes.
This
Yes,
is our
this
justice
is
system.
why
at work.
trial by jury
Abbott
shows.
chose instead to go over the court's head and just demand that the parole board issue the pardon, which is absolutely going to happen because, according to the official website of the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles, board members are appointed by the governor.
Oh,
So let's just check in and
Gross.
see how Fox News is handling this. And
Wanted to speak to one of the few people who knows tonight what Daniel Perry is going through. Kyle Rittenhouse lived that experience. He joins us tonight. Kyle Rittenhouse, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me, Tucker.
okay, sure. Yeah, they had Kyle Rittenhouse talk about it. Very cool.
at least knowledgeable in this very specific scenario.
Also, the stand your ground is such a fun little law because, like, this guy, I mean, he didn't just shoot a protester. He drove his car
Into a group of
yeah,
protesters.
he tried to
yes.
run them over with his car, and then when that failed, and the people he tried to run over were obviously scared for their lives, like, you would think they would be standing their ground because a person just tried to fucking kill them. But no, that doesn't count. It's only standing your ground.
It also just works whenever they want it to. There was a recent, I don't want to represent it here, but there was a recent case in Florida which has its own stand your ground law, as
Yeah.
we all know from some very big cases over the years.
And that's another one. Like, you could argue that Trayvon Martin was standing his ground because he feared for his life.
He was being chased down.
Right.
But there was one in Florida recently where someone used the stand your ground law in their favor, even though they were driving a car and shooting outside of the car.
That video is insane. Also, just like total, like, he's shooting literally with his eyes closed and shooting out his front windshield. So
They're
like,
coming right for me.
Yeah, and over nothing, over like getting tailgated a little bit. Just he had to do it to him. He was standing his ground.
But wait, hold on. If you thought that, this was the only insanely fucked up thing coming out of Texas in just the past few days, think again. Because a federal judge in Texas is trying, and apparently succeeding, at banning abortion pills nationwide by suspending the medication's FDA approval, an approval that goes back decades. Here's Politico with more on this. A Texas federal
Jesus
judge ruled
Christ.
Friday evening to suspend the FDA's approval of one of the two drugs used together to cause an abortion, virtually banning the sale of the pills across the country. The decision, however, will not take effect for a week, giving higher courts time to consider the appeal the Biden administration filed Friday night and delaying, for now, the impact on hundreds of thousands of patients who use the medication both for abortions and treating miscarriages.
So, U.S. District Court Judge Matthew Kaczmarek in Amarillo, Texas.
This is fucking gross. Can we stop with this, like, woman control thing? Republicans, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you, but stop. This is fucking gross. This isn't pro-life. It's never been pro-life. Hold your fucking leaders accountable, you gross fucks.
Texas, an appointee of former President Donald Trump, sided with anti-abortion
Jesus
medical groups
Christ.
to challenge the federal regulation of the drug, ruling that both the initial approval of the pills in 2000 as well as more recent FDA decisions allowing them to be prescribed via telemedicine, sent by mail, and dispensed at retail pharmacies are unlawful. Meanwhile, a Washington state federal judge issued a conflicting order Friday night that blocks the FDA from rolling back access to the pills in the dozen blue states that brought the lawsuit. The ruling from U.S. District Court Judge Thomas O. Rice, an appointee of former President Barack Obama, clashes with Kaczmarek's in that it orders the FDA to maintain the status quo, raising the likelihood that it could go before the Supreme Court. Oh, good!
I hate
Lovely.
being
The
surrounded
Supreme
by
Court-
fucking ignorance.
What's going on with that, by the way? The one thing that hasn't had any controversy, the Supreme Court, the true justice is blind institution in this country.
Yeah, I
that
do love that.
keeps everything on the low.
Just days ago on this show, I've said there's certainly going to be more where this comes from, and then like 2 days later, it's like, by the way, that guy that was, funding Clarence Thomas's like extravagant lifestyle, he's into some
Christ.
severe Nazi shit.
A lot of people really showing their ass too. Like so many people coming out to defend him. Like, oh, so I guess collecting Nazi memorabilia makes you a Nazi. Like, I collect all sorts of Nazi memorabilia. And then the funniest thing is like all the highest profile like big names coming out to defend Harlan Crow. Like people just look, and of course Harlan Crow is one of their donors for like something they work at or work for. So it's part of the deal.
Yeah.
Harlan Crow funds your shit, and you have to come to his defense.
Yeah, it's
And he also, it's like, oh, well, he keeps it because, he keeps it to remind himself about evil in the world. Also, he has a garden of evil outside, and it's like, okay, so why does he keep the Hitler stuff inside his house displayed proudly, and he puts all the communist stuff in the garden of evil? Why isn't there any Nazi shit in the garden of evil?
I don't know. Could be any reason.
Interesting.
Yeah, looking into this.
Concerning.
So for his part, Biden instructed the Justice Department to appeal the case, adding, if this ruling were to stand, then there will be virtually no prescription approved by the FDA that would be safe from these kinds of political, ideological attacks.
The rich people are genuinely a fucking menace on society right now.
And yeah, he's right. They could just,
Yeah, this,
they could
I
just
mean-
roll back any kind of FDA approval.
And like, if you are in like the higher tier brackets of money making, I don't know how you're not concerned with your fellows' behavior. Like, your fellows are making you look so fucking bad that people are going to eventually come for the rich. And, oh yeah, they're not going to segment the rich based on who did what. They're going to segment the rich on like, oh, you're rich, let's hang you. So it's not going to go well, I would imagine. Like, this, they're genuinely trying to fucking cause a civil war in this country. I swear to God, they're trying to cause a civil war in this country. It is fucking ridiculous what is going on here. I don't get it. Why is so many people so divided?
The FDA really not something you want to politicize.
Yeah, but, as is tradition, Republicans do only seem to care about babies from the moment of conception to the moment that baby exits the womb. Once they're out, they're on their own.
I don't want to play with you anymore.
Hope you brought bootstraps, Junior. So for recent proof of that point, look no further than the state of North Dakota, who recently voted against providing students with school lunches and then immediately voted to give themselves a higher budget for their own lunches. Well, meals in general. They get
Fucking
breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
shocker.
Wow.
I mean,
be nice.
It would
Who
be
wouldn't have
comical if it
seen
weren't
this
so
coming?
Blatantly evil. Here's Motherboard with more.
A little over a week after North Dakota Senator
Again, zero people holding these guys accountable. No one. Like, I just don't know, like, how to say it to people. I'm pretty sure, like, back in the old days, as it were, these are the type of people that would just get taken out back and beaten the shit out of. And then it would show up with bruises the next day, like, what the fuck happened to you? It's like, I'm going to reverse my decision. Like, that's the kind of shit that would happen. We don't have that anymore. We don't have any kind of fucking accountability. We don't have anyone rooting for the little guy. We just don't have anyone. We just don't have anyone. Seriously, we're represented by a group of fucking clowns that don't represent us. They represent about everyone but us. Banning anti-abortion pills? What the fuck is wrong with you? That's needed medication. God damn. Some people just need a fucking brain redo. I think one of the largest issues with society is the general stupidity of society. There is like just such a general lack of intelligence towards the betterment of society. It's so fucking what can I do for me? So greedy, self-centered bullshit. Like, this is never gonna work.
Narrowly rejected a bill to provide universal free school lunches. The same legislature increased meal budgets for state employees, including themselves. The Grand Forks Herald reports that on Thursday, the Senate voted 26 to 21 to pass Senate Bill 2124, which will increase meal budgets from $7 to $9 in the morning, $10 to $14 in the afternoon, and $17 to $22 in the evening. It would cost $1 million over 2 years, according to the Herald. It was sponsored by 3 Republicans and 1 Democrat in the Republican-controlled body. House Bill 1491, which fell short by 1 vote, would have provided lunch free of charge to students from families at 200% of the federal poverty level, or $49,720 for a family of 3. An earlier version of the bill would have covered all students regardless of income, but was modified to garner more Republican votes.
Nah, that didn't work.
Those damn children need to get a job.
Yeah, despite the modification, it still failed to get enough votes, obviously. This is why you don't bargain with Republicans. They don't care. And of course, there's always a quote. This is from North Dakota Senator Mike Wabima, who now gets $45 a day to spend on food in addition to his state salary while poor kids go hungry. Quote, yes, I can understand kids going hungry, but is that really the problem of the school district? Is that the problem of the state of North Dakota?
I mean...
Yeah, it kind of is.
Like,
it definitely
like,
is.
What even is the role of government if little, like, starving children is not your concern?
I
The
would
fuck
assume
are you
that
talking
the
about?
base level, reason for government is protecting citizens.
Yeah.
Yeah, making sure basic needs are taken care of. He goes on to say it's really the problem of parents being negligent with their kids.
Okay, even if that's the case, shouldn't you do something about that?
Yeah, clearly. The state legislature justified their own food budget increase by saying that it was to make up for inflation.
Oh, yeah.
Despite their inability to see how inflation might also be making it a bit harder for the parents of North Dakota as well.
No, you don't understand. Food's expensive.
Yes, we know. And maybe providing food to kids in school would, 1, help ease that burden slightly, and 2, be common decency, as well as something that every school district in the country should be doing if we actually cared about the health and well-being of children.
We clearly don't care about the health and well-being of our children in America. Look at guns. We literally shoot kids in schools. Why would school lunches be on the table? Are you fucking kidding me?
But we don't.
Also, it would be, it's not even it would be one thing if the meals were actually substantial or tasty.
Yeah.
They're garbage.
Yeah, they're feeding them slop.
Yeah, it's like prison food.
Yeah.
And they still won't pay for it.
Yeah, it's pretty wow. But yeah, let's get over some good news real quick, because one of the recently expelled representatives from Tennessee, Justin Jones, is already back in his position after the Metro Nashville Council immediately reappointed him to his seat.
Yeah.
Which is apparently inevitable, considering that due to the expulsion, they didn't have a representative for their district. So this entire thing was just a huge fucking L for state Republicans who turned a peaceful protest into a massive nationwide story, raised millions of dollars for local Democrats, and have nothing to show for it themselves because he's right back where he started, and even more emboldened by his constituents than ever. Also, he's famous. A lot of people are like, I'd never heard of this guy before. I'm like, oh, he seems pretty cool.
Yeah. Like, it couldn't have backfired more
Yeah.
spectacularly.
Cool. I thank you for introducing me to Justin Jones,
Yes.
Tennessee
And Justin
Republican.
Pearson. Yeah, it's fantastic.
So bravo, great job. Here's local outlet The Tennessean.
During a special called meeting Monday, the council unanimously voted to reappoint Jones to the seat. 3 members were not present for the vote. Immediately after the vote, Jones and hundreds of protesters marched to the Capitol where he was sworn in again before taking his seat on the House floor as session was ongoing. Quote, I want to welcome the people back to the people's house. I want to welcome democracy back to the people's house.
He also added, I lived, bitch.
Yeah, that's what Jones said in his first remarks back on the floor. On last Thursday, members tried to crucify democracy, but today we have a resurrection. He did the Easter thing
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Today,
Nice,
78,000
my
people
friend.
have a voice in this chamber once again, he added. No expulsion, no attempt to silence us will stop us, but only galvanize and strengthen our movement. We continue to show up in the people's house, power to the people.
So yeah, truly epic, incredible rake stepping by Tennessee Republicans who've done irreparable harm to their own party once again.
Yeah.
No shame, though. As for Justin Pearson, the other rep who was expelled from the House, his district has called for a special meeting on Wednesday, with their local news station adding, Pearson won a special election to the seat in January and had just been sworn in. The Shelby County Commission must appoint an interim representative until the next election. That interim representative could be Pearson. Michael Lowry, the chairman of the Shelby County Commission, said a special meeting has been called for Wednesday to vote on the appointment. So we would hope and assume at this point that they will reinstall Pearson, closing out this ultimately hilarious fumble by members of the GOP, which also might explain why they've all chosen to instead focus on buying and then destroying Bud Light instead of commenting on these expulsions or the abortion pill thing.
It's these are very unpopular things with a lot of their constituents. Do you see the one post where the guy's like, I don't give a shit who markets it?
He's like, it's like the perfect example of like your heart's in the right place, but he's like dropping fucking slurs and shit. Like,
right for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, he's like, I don't care if you can find love in this world, this cruel world of ours.
Yeah,
like
so be it.
So be it.
I'm gonna keep drinking my Bud Light. Speaking of like right for the wrong reasons, so many weirdo Republicans. And we'll get to the fact that a lot of them just went with the other major beer brands, which also do the LGBTQ.
Well, this is like the funniest
outreach.
way. It's the funniest way for them to find out that the alcoholic beverage industry is like
A monopoly.
the most consolidated industry on earth. There's
Yes.
like 2 companies own fucking everything.
But in some cases, being right for the wrong reasons, they've discovered local craft breweries who don't make their political positions known or don't have a track record of doing this. And it's like, hey, just found out that I can actually support local business. And it's like, oh, well, you got there, I guess.
Yeah.
For completely selfish and hateful reasons, but, you know, you got there.
Also, I mean, I would imagine that most small breweries are probably even more to the left than Bud Light.
Well,
Like, some of them are
depending on where they're
Yeah,
located.
some of them are shitty, but like, I mean,
Exactly. Anyways, last week we showed you the video of Kid Rock firing countless rounds of ammunition into cases of Bud Light.
what a cool
Yeah.
guy.
And for a slant, Grandpa's feeling frisky today.
Grandpa's feeling a little frisky today.
Very weird way to intro that video. But for a slight update on that, Kid Rock appeared ringside at the UFC fight this weekend, and that was, of course, alongside Donald Trump. And in some of the photos, looks like Kid Rock is wearing a brace on his firing hand, indicating that he may have injured himself during the Bud Light destruction stunt.
Wow.
Grandpa's feeling a little frisky today.
That's kind of the only thing that lines up with
Yeah.
that.
Well,
But if you thought Kid Rock shooting a couple cases of Bud Light or Travis Tritt banning Budweiser from his tour riders despite looking like a drag queen
that's the
himself.
funniest thing. Yeah, this man is flamboyant is the best way to describe his look.
Hey, look, we all got a little crazy in the 90s, didn't we, folks? Also, yes, this weekend was filled to the brim with conservatives showing off their new favorite beer brands as a way to protest the whole, woke agenda, I guess, only to be called out nearly every single time because nearly all the brands featured have done their own pro-LGBTQ campaign. And in some cases, specifically the one with Dan Crenshaw, the beer brand that he switched.
Again, I don't understand what's with conservatives on this. Being anti-LGBTQ is not the right stance or position on anything. It's scientifically incorrect. You're literally making yourself look like a dumbass. Stop. Get some help.
is owned by the same company.
Saw Bud Light's stupid ad campaign. So guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna throw out every single Bud Light we've got in the fridge.
Owned by Coors parent company, owned by Budweiser parent, owned by Heineken.
They got you. He is going to be so upset when he finds out. When clearly, out of all the states, this state has probably more breweries
Yeah.
per capita than most places.
Yeah, it's got to be up there.
Yeah.
But speaking of updates, we regret to inform you that a 4th Norfolk Southern train has derailed. Here's more from the train news website, trains.com. And yes, there are other mainstream sources regarding this latest derailment, but there's no way we're not going to reference the fact that a train news specific site called trains.com also has the scoop.
Yeah.
So here you go.
Hell
Two
yeah.
crew members were injured Saturday night when a locomotive and 11.
Dude, trains.com. Are you? No, let's just go there. Hell yeah. I like this shit. That is just. Oh, fuck yeah. Look at this shit. Trains.com. Oh, man. I love it. Look at this. People love shit. You know that? People are passionate about things. My dad had a lot of like HO scale trains, and he had like a whole thing that he could lower from the ceiling, and he had like a little setup there, and he really liked that thing. And honestly, as a kid, I always thought it was cool as hell. I don't know, it was, as a kid, you didn't think anything was cool, but you know, a shiny little train go around the track, woo! But I genuinely thought it was pretty freaking nifty, and yeah, just thinking back to that. Wild. Look at this. This is like a whole ass website, though. It's not like my website. My website ain't a whole ass website. It's just like a .com or .net with like nothing else. The mother of a 6-year-old boy who shot an elementary school teacher was charged with child. I don't even fucking want to know. Backlash. Well, yeah, you will receive backlash. Like, I don't. These people are so dumb. Idiots.
Cars of a Norfolk Southern train derailed Saturday night. Okay, so that was the fourth one, actually. The third derailment happened in Pennsylvania the same day. Trains,
2 in 1 day.
Trains.com continues. Also on Saturday, an NS train was involved in a minor derailment in Pittsburgh. In the Alabama incident, the railroad said the locomotive rolled onto its side, spilled some diesel fuel and engine oil. The crew members were transported to a hospital and later released. The Pittsburgh incident occurred before 10 a.m. Saturday morning. The city's S neighborhood, the Pittsburgh Tribune Review reports, and involved 5 empty cars. No injuries were reported.
Now you must be saying, okay, well,
Choo-choo.
that's probably all the Norfolk Southern news they have for this episode. But no, sit back down. Prepare yourself for this
Oh,
update
Jesus.
regarding the first Norfolk Southern derailment from earlier this year, the one with the toxic chemicals and the explosion and all that. Now, according to local outlet WKBN, a truck carrying toxic soil being removed from the site of the derailment in East Palestine, Ohio, overturned during its route, spilling the toxic soil in a completely new location. Here's from their reporting.
You've got to be
According to the Ohio
fucking
State
kidding
Highway
me.
Patrol, a commercial vehicle hauling 40,000 pounds of contaminated soil from the train derailment site was involved in a crash on State Route 165 near Waterford Road. The northbound tractor trailer traveled off the right side of the roadway, hit a ditch and utility pole, and overturned onto its right side. Highway Patrol estimates that approximately 20,000 pounds of soil spilled onto the roadway and burned. The local fire department and the Ohio Environmental Protection Agency, who I'm sure were, God damn it,
Wow.
they were called to the scene. According to the Ohio EPA,
Could you fucking imagine that? Like, you're the EPA and you're just watching the first truck of that crap go away, and like not even 10 minutes later you get a damn call. Guys, like, oh man, no, that sucks. That sucks.
the spill was contained and
Ouch.
is not a threat to nearby waterways.
I don't believe you.
Just insane. Like, all right, we got all the, the contaminated.
And yeah, not a threat to waterways. Like, it's such lies. Like, they're just saying that. It usually does like a lot of damage to waterways. All this stuff does. When scientists say that like it's a very fragile ecosystem, they're not just saying that to be hee funny. It's because it's a fragile ass ecosystem. We really shouldn't be fucking with it like this.
Soil out of the area. We loaded it into trucks. Finally, we can put this all behind us, except for, the probably years, if not decades, of reports of whatever is left over and hurting the residents. But anyways, for now, out of sight, out of mind. We regret to inform you the truck has spilled miles away, contaminating an entirely new site.
We did it.
Yeah.
Also, update on Billy McFarland. It is official. He has announced Firefest 2, which should be an entertaining topic to follow along with, if it even happens. Honestly, there's not much else to say. He literally just said that it's happening. He posted the following on Twitter. Fire Festival 2 is finally happening. Tell me why you should be invited. And most of the replies seem to be from the same types of weirdos who are desperate for attention and fame, so really nothing to see here until the inevitable failure. We'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah. And you keep an eye on us by watching our 2 previous videos that are about to pop up on the screen. But as always, it's time for us to grovel at your feet. Oh, thank you, benevolent viewers, for all of your likes and your comments. We really appreciate it.
Leave a like, leave a comment, suck on my tongue.
So yeah, please suck our tongues by leaving a comment. And if you really want to suck our tongues, which sounds terrible, and even worse in the context of the Dalai Lama.
Why did the Dalai Lama say that? Is like, just, what? He looked at a kid and said, "Suck my tongue." Why? Why? No. Like, oh man, oh God, I just don't get it. Like, people gotta stop living these sheltered lives. It's not good for them. Matterhorn bobsleds horror incident. Oh wait, I know this
On
one.
the 14th of June 1959, a brand new ride opened at Disneyland, California, the Matterhorn bobsleds. At the time, it was one of a kind, the first tubular steel roller coaster in the world. It proved popular with visitors, and remained in place for more than 6 decades, serving millions of guests each year. Throughout this long operational life, though, the ride would see
I don't know if we should go on to that one on this channel. This is a really dark topic. It's one of those things, like, I kind of have this thing where I like to watch disaster stuff, learn about it, see why it happened, how it happened, just recognize the aftermath, and that, like, the reason that we have changed things is so we prevent this from happening again. And, like, a lot of these incidents like that, like, you know, it'll be... Hang on, I gotta turn off my alarm on my watch. Turn off. Okay, there, no, it's fine. I was going on a genuine thing that mattered, but my brain, like, went... Wow. My brain really just went off on a rocker there. Anyway, let's start watching something else, I guess. Holy cow, what happened there? ChatGPT for your own PDF files. Look, man, I'm not saying it's getting bad, but, like, look, ChatGPT is fun. I have access to it. I just don't know why we need it in everything. Like, someone was like, hey, if you run this, you could do a voice assistant, which was the AI thing, and I followed that along. That's really cool. And then I, like, saw another video where it's like, do this and this, and it's like, you could do this with it, and it's like, holy cow, okay, that's kind of nifty. And it's like, oh, now we can run it on a fridge. Okay, now you guys got to stop. Like, we do not need ChatGPT on a fridge. No, we absolutely do need that on a fridge. I'm sorry. ChatGPT, look at the camera, look at all my ingredients. What can I make with this given the expiration dates? You know, absolutely know that's going to be a thing. I'm not sure if I should hate that, love it, or accept that this is, like, the way that things go. Like, society does evolve into better things like that, but Also, with the whole like privacy thing, at what costs? Like, I'm starting to really wonder that. I know when I'm younger, it didn't really matter as much to me, but now that I'm getting a little older, it seems like, yeah, that's like just stupid. Monday wrap up. Apple hit by PC recession. Retirees funding their adult kids. And more news. Yeah, that's... Say the adult kids. Apparently, I'm a kid because making $7 an hour when rent is $2,000 a month is somehow livable compared to back, in their day when it was, like $200 a month for rent. Did you fucking imagine? Retention is more than just preventing your employees from quitting. It's fostering a work culture that inspires, motivates your team to stay and grow. Yeah, that's true. Like, I mean, it's good that if you have like people that are really awesome at what they do and they're in their positions, but it's always another thing to be able to genuinely get people in there that like have a positive effect on everyone, that like really gets them motivated to try to do something more for the company because they like the company, they love the company, they're getting paid a lot. Every upper management was like, it's like, yeah, that's because you keep taking all the money. Anyway, what do I know, right? I just watch the shit go. The fuck? Sometimes you just gotta keep scrolling, man. Sometimes you just gotta keep scrolling. 220 horsepower in the Prius Prime. I mean, granted, I guess like Prius should become a new, better car. I think. Like, I genuinely hope Prius gets the old user base off of it that like so many people hate it. Imaging laptops and desktops. I have zero experience with that, but you know what? I promise you, I could go into it right now and I could figure that out. Absolutely, I could figure that out. Troy, I could figure that out. It's not hard. It used to be really difficult. It's not hard anymore. And I gotta say this about a lot of these positions. It's just so crazy. Florida man memes that will make you laugh and question humanity. have never seen such a thing before, but that is amazing. Man dancing with alligator. Florida man pretending to be cop pulls over undercover officer. Wow. Giant crocodile steals lawnmower. What? What? Why though? Florida man poses as cast member, steals $10,000 R2D2 droid in supposed attempt to earn a job at Disney World. What? Kids eat free, no minors allowed. Yeah, this is definitely Florida. Yeah, that's Florida. See, I don't need this is such fucking true. Well, I'll give him this. It wasn't that bad of memes, so. Healthcare IT infrastructure program manager. Okay, now that I probably wouldn't be able to do. On-site 90% New York City Epic program director in New York City. Ugh. No thanks. Like, ouch, my wallet. I'm trying to make money. ChatGPT isn't Google. Google is Google. ChatGPT is brilliant. Patient thought partner. Tell it why you want to know about Topeka. Yeah, ChatGPT is quite a tool. I barely crack the surface on this thing, like, and I can say that, and I know and understand. Like, I barely crack ChatGPT and what its capabilities are. I can basically talk to it and make it spit out text and answers back to me. I have asked it to code things for me, and it has done. It's coded things for me. Literally, just actual coding. It will just do it for you. It's a cool freaking tech. But, like, it shows, like, there is so much more that thing is capable of, and I don't know necessarily if it's going to be a good or a bad thing. It's kind of up to the people, you know? I hate it with society right now because there is just genuinely so many people trying to do bad things, and I don't understand why. You can now buy or rent every single Star Trek movie in the latest 4K and HDR standards. Oh, did they upscale and stuff, all that? Interesting. NASA reveals what made an entire Starlink satellite fleet go down. Ooh. Physicists extend qubit lifespan in pivotal validation of quantum computing. Yeah, quantum computing, I'm not even going to understand. Like, I have a vague notion of how that works, so... I just know it's like a different way to do things. Like, you know, my computer is a car and a quantum computer is a boat. Yes, they can both carry things. Yes, they can both do certain things. but they're also technically designed for two different purposes. I love how that was explained. How much to infect Android phones via Google Play Store? About 20,000. FTC orders online supplement maker to pay 600,000 in first case moment. Hijacked Amazon reviews. Oh, American IQ scores have rapidly dropped, proving the reverse Flynn effect. Well, again, what do you expect? You are literally trying to get schools to not have books in them. What? This is, and like, I don't even say this out of thing. Florida has been doing this for a long time because Florida. Like, you know, other states are like, oh, this book banning thing is so new. Like, it's not to me. Like, I've seen this shit when I was a kid. It's ridiculous. Like, Tesla to open Megabank, Shanghai. Z Library plans to let users share physical books through Z Points. More Google Assistant shutdowns. Third-party smart displays are dead. Biden administration to curb toxic pollutants from chemical plants. I mean, it would be amazing to reduce the whole air hazards and chemicals for everyone. There's a reason why the average American lifespan is going down. Okay, not up, down. All this pro money, all this stuff, like, it's not pro-life. It's just not, and it never will be. Like, I do not understand why people still choose to go these directions that they are going. Doesn't help them, doesn't help us, doesn't help. It just doesn't help. EPA said to propose rules meant to drive up electric car sales tenfold. Nice. Hell yeah. $2032 they estimate. 67. That would be awesome. I mean, yeah, there is going to be supply chain problems because you're trying to make. And again, this is piss poor resource management and usage. We should not have as many vehicles in the U.S. as we do. We should have more readily available public transportation. We don't. This is a problem. We do not have the resources necessary to be able to handle everyone having their own car like this. It's how it is. Like, it, oh man, it's so dumb because we're going to use so many of these resources now, and then in the future when we have these really amazing breakthroughs on things, we're going to be like, oh, if only we had this resource again, we would have been able to do this, this, and this. But you know, some fucking kid in 2013 needed to have a goddamn iPhone, so at least they had that, right? If we lose the internet, we're screwed. Yeah, you're not fucking... Yeah, no. We should not lose the Internet Archive. The Internet Archive is one of the... If you've ever researched, you've probably used the Internet Archive. Hell yeah. The Internet Archive and the Wayback Machine, both of those need to be genuinely preserved and kept going for many generations to come. Time set for National Mobile Phone Emergency Alert Test. And earlier... Oh, that was UK and FA. Okay. I was like, what? There's a thing where you just nationally test? But no, when it says BBC, that's more like a state doing a thing. That's fine. FBI warns against using public phone charging stations. I mean, yeah. I just wouldn't plug into any system that I don't know about. Because like, you really don't know what's on a system these days. Khan Academy Chief says GPT-4 ready to be a tutor. Oh, no, absolutely. If you ask ChatGPT to show you how to do things, it's remarkably good at doing it. The thing is, though, it does still have issues with accuracy. So you sometimes will run into an issue where it will try to teach you something that is wrong. And since it's so damn, like, good at what it does, like, yeah, it could... Yeah, the hallucinate. Yeah, it even specifically calls that out. Range from engineers to confidently wrong. Yeah, that's why. That's one of the issues that's worrisome. Because as good as that software is, it does every once in a while do that, and I shouldn't do that. Like, I don't know. U.S. bank lending slumps by most on record in final weeks of March. China's Payment Association warns over risk AI products like ChatGPT. Payment industry staff with laws and rules when using tools should not upload confidential information related to the... Yes, dude, like, seriously. In my code, you take domain name, delete it, and you just type domain.com. Anonymize it. That's all you gotta do. Just don't use personal identifiers. Same thing with all the rest of your code when you send it over to ChatGPT. Just don't put stuff in there. Super Mario Brothers movie sets record highest grossing animated movie opening ever. Wait, it blew out Toy Story and all that? Super Mario Bros. Has now earned the largest global animated opening in history. 377 Frozen 2 on Thanksgiving. Wow. That is a lot in one weekend. I will have to... I'm actually genuinely curious about that new movie too. I mean, obviously I'm a Mario fan from back in the day. Love Mario. But... Nintendo I've definitely had a love-hate relationship with. Christ, their decisions are just so antsy people too. Better electric sensors mean militaries need better camouflage. Will AI disrupt the video game industry? I don't know if AI will disrupt the gaming industry. I just think it'll be a better way to effectively have more people in the gaming industry because, like, I don't know C#. So scripting is really hard for me. But I can say, ChatGPT, here's what I am doing. This is a video game. I am making this character go from point A to point B. As soon as he touches this object here, it's going to do this. This is the code that I have so far. I need to be able to have it interact like this. How do I do it? Go. And it's that. And it will just spit the code out. And if you ask it to, it will train you on why it's doing that. It will show you this code is doing this code is doing this, and this is why I put this here. Like, it even educates you as you go through. It's powerful. So I don't think it'll disrupt it. I don't think it'll disrupt it. I think it'll be a very good tool, though. In the broader scheme of things, it'll be a very good tool. See Uranus's rings in stunning new image from Webb telescope. Man. Just kidding. I can't make any Uranus jokes. This is... All right, let's see Uranus. I think this was old news, right? April 9th, yeah. That's Uranus. You're looking at Uranus. This is a planet. It's just sitting there doing this. What a freaking weird world we live in.
Warning. The following video contains footage of a PC that has been intentionally damaged for educational and entertainment purposes. This PC was fully functional when it was sent to us by Origin, but we broke it. The makers of this video urge viewers to exercise caution and respect when handling electronics.
Origin PC told me to give away this Kronos V3.
Okay, so I'm not sure. If they don't say what's wrong with it in the first bit, I'm gonna try to diagnose this myself. If they just say what's wrong with it, well, that's how it goes sometimes.
3 small form factor gaming PC, and that is their right. They did sponsor the video, but I've been spending a lot of time on r/malicious compliance lately. And while they did stipulate that I have to give it away, they didn't say it had to be in working condition. So here's the deal, Calvin, if that is your real name. From the time you touch this computer, you have 2 hours to fix it, meeting all of these criteria. If you succeed, you take it home with you, ready to game. If you fail, I give it to someone else. You may, right now, visually inspect the PC. Visually, but don't touch. Not that I think you'll be able to glean any useful information anyway. Our team of skilled customer service experts burned the midnight oil, making sure that this was going to be extremely challenging.
What was the stock
You
image
don't
from?
have to.
What
You
the
can
hell?
just touch the computer and try and fix it.
Okay, so I'm...
Wait, he touched it. Set the thing. Set the thing. Here we go. Oh, and this is great. Because while he's trying to think right now is a perfect time for me to go through a few more really important details that I'm springing on him at the last second here. Oh, and springing on Origin. They had no idea. You see, I put together a few little bonus prize packs of my own. But to get them, he has to complete the challenge in a lot less than 2 hours. Every 30 minutes, I'm going to open up one of these envelopes and I'll read out what's inside them. But once I say it, you no longer get it. Isn't that fun? And the best part, Calvin, is that absolutely nobody is cheering for you. Because if you fail, there's a separate giveaway for another Kronos V3 for all the fine folks watching from home. But it's just one, unless you fail. Then it's 2. Isn't that great? No hard feelings though, man. The contract says I have to give it away. It doesn't say that I have to give it away to you. Ouch. Wow. It really doesn't say anything. It doesn't even say that I'm not allowed to distract you. This is great. Do you have any experience fixing computers, Calvin? Because it really doesn't look like it.
I've built my own before.
Wow, this is tough. He has to post, boot into Windows, have all the parts detected in hardware info. There's a lot of stuff in there. Core i9-13900K, RTX 4080 Founders Edition, 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM, more than one drive.
Ooh.
Exactly what drives are in there. And score at least 37,000 in Cinebench R23 and 2250 in Classroom. Yeah, you gotta run benchmarks too?
Yeah.
That half an hour one is gonna be basically impossible. You're removing a SATA drive. Yeah. What exactly is it that you're hoping to achieve right now?
Well, it was disconnected, and I could not fit my fingers in to reconnect it.
Hopefully there's not too much other stuff that's disconnected, or he's gonna be doing a full teardown and rebuild of this thing. Too bad he can't use Origin's 24/7 lifetime support. Did you watch our previous troubleshooting challenge videos as prep? Oh, that would have been really smart. You didn't, did you? Goodness gracious, almost 8 minutes gone already? Where does time go when you're having fun? Should I give him any hints if I figure something out?
You can do it in a really rude and sarcastic way, yes.
If you can do it in a
One of the people
rude
who
and
liked
sarcastic
my evil
way.
persona. Okay, I'm gonna poke my head in here, David. One thing I can see is something that's very clearly hanging out there. Ugh. What's this? Oh, he's looking. What's this? What's going on here? Ooh. That doesn't seem very good. At about 15 minutes in, there's definitely things that I'd be doing differently. I don't think he's being nearly aggressive enough in his disassembly. He knows we've messed with this thing, and he's trying to look for surface level problems, like, is the back of the...
I'm just a little sad that they're not cutting enough to it that I can take a look at it and try to diagnose it. They're just letting it go. It's fine. It's video.
Power supply switch
I get it.
off, stuff like that.
I just want to be the IT tech
tearing stuff out
man.
of here to validate that it's actually connected at all.
By the way, anyone that's new here, welcome in. My name is Brett. I'm an IT technician with 20 plus years of experience in the field. I like to help and tinker with things. So if you do have any IT issues or questions, feel free to throw them down in the chat. If it's something I can help with, let's see what we can do. If not, I just like to watch stuff IT related and just go from there.
Oh, he started. Oh, out comes the ram. Oh, we dropped the ram! Ah! That's hard to watch. Now I get how you guys feel. In just
God, guys.
and 23 seconds,
he's dropping
it's funny how you change the dynamic,
like
right?
expensive
He started
items
this shoot
is always
ready
such
to
a
win
thing.
something in 2 hours, but now all he can think about is what he's going to lose in 30 minutes. Man, you could be gaming at 4K, 120 frames per second in just an hour and 40 minutes. Or you could be driving home in disappointment in just an hour and 40 minutes. You can't do that, okay?
Uncomfortable chuckle.
There's some things still plugged in.
That's the thing about small form factor builds is when they're done right, they're packed tight. Hey, I came up with that on the spot. Not bad, sleep deprived brain.
This must hurt to watch, hey?
No, I'm having a blast. I'm feeling particularly malicious today. Had a very bad night.
Still an hour and a half.
Yes.
Oh no, this is from that.
Which means
Still an hour and a half.
yes, I'm particularly malicious today. Had a
Oh, it was from that day. Oh no.
very bad night. Yes.
And 4 seconds.
And 4 seconds. Which means it's time to open the first envelope. If you had completed the challenge in just 30 minutes, you would have received, in addition to your Origin Chronos V3 gaming PC,
Damn, a Xenon Flex Virtuoso RGB wireless XT headset, K100 keyboard, and a Dark Core RGB Pro.
Really?
Ouch,
Xenon Flex? Isn't
man.
that like a $2,000 monitor?
That would have been nice.
Yeah,
That would have been nice.
Well, hopefully there's something good in the next one. Truthfully, watching him read that did kind of hurt. I'm feeling a little bit more benevolent now. So with that in mind, I will say that half an hour in, I probably would have put a little bit more work into isolation. So taking my individual components and evaluating them one by one. Okay, I got my GPU. Is it plugged in on one end? Is it plugged in on the other end? Okay, it's bit roasted GPU, good to go. Take my motherboard. Where are all the different points it needs to be plugged in? I want to go one thing at a time.
This cable will be the death of me.
I can genuinely say one issue with owning an iPhone. If I hear an iPhone go off, you just have that innate thing. And the problem is, I'm pretty sure someone's iPhone just went off outside, but I was like, wait a minute, is that my phone? Like, I hate that reaction.
You gotta have confidence. You know what? I've come around. I'm rooting for Kelvin now. Okay, you gotta have confidence. You gotta pull it out. Oh! Is that a piece of motherboard?
Just from the edge right here.
So, yes, is the word you were looking for.
Yeah.
Can I have a look at that, please?
Sure.
It's cosmetic.
Thank God.
Oh, God's not gonna help you with this.
Just keep it far, far away.
There's a couple more things that Origin PC wanted me to mention about the system. It fits up to 620mm case fans, which means it's easy to attach a 360mm AIO cooler, which is really impressive given the size of this thing. The one that we've got is the iCUE H150i Elite, and it supports up to a 1,000 watt SFX power supply, which, is that what they happened to put in here? Yes, this is a 1,000 watt power supply. One issue I'm noticing with Calvin's approach is that he's thinking very inside the box, in a literal sense. He's trying to do everything inside the box. By this point, I would have everything spread out, hanging out the side, whatever it takes to just get my individual components attached in the bare minimum way and isolated. He doesn't need a GPU to post the system. He doesn't need a cooler. He started with absolutely no response whatsoever. He doesn't even need a power button. He just needs some way to jump those pins and see, has anything I've done improved anything? There is something that's troubling me. We don't like viewer interactions to end negatively. That was one of the reasons that I cheated in PC or no PC, awarding the top prize to both participants regardless of what they actually earned. But there was so much audience backlash when I did that because people felt that it removed all the stakes that I will never do it again. If we said, you fail, you lose, that's how it has to be. Okay, come on, Calvin, what does this do?
It's like a carrier board.
Where does it go? So where does it need to go? Liberate it. Where, pray tell, Calvin, would you normally find the front I/O things plugged in on a motherboard?
Or on the sides of it?
So do you see anything on the sides that looks like sort of unusual? ASUS has done something very interesting with this board. There are two long male Type-C connectors along the bottom right edge of the board, and they appear to be designed to plug into this daughter board, which has two female receptacles. Now, if I was the average user, I might look at a USB Type-C and go, well, that's for USB. But if I were me, having seen all the weird shiz that motherboard manufacturers do over the years, I would look at it and go, they have reused an industry standard connector, and they've done all their own pinout for it. So they're using these USB-Cs for my, looks like front panel USB 2, SATA, front panel connectors. Oh, would you look at that,
power.
a little indicator light.
Okay, we're getting somewhere.
Did you find the front panel connector?
Front I/O connector, yeah.
Oh, ASUS, really? You just put this generic front I/O connector crap in here? Okay, well, what you need to do is you need to find where the front I/O connector is. But before you can do that, I really do need you to open this envelope because I said I would make you do it.
So I could have had a Xenon 32-inch HS80 headset, K70 keyboard, and Ironclaw RGB wireless.
Still great stuff, but a significant downgrade over last time. We're definitely trending in a this direction. I'm going to help you with that. That is an extremely misleading manual.
Okay.
There is no power button there.
Oh.
There's a label here that says power button, though. What the devil are they talking about?
Is it that those few switches back? I mean, these few prongs back here, you think? Oh.
Interesting.
That was weird.
Okay. Well, that's a good sign.
Yeah.
I would turn this off really quickly, though.
Yeah. 47 minutes. Oh, no. It's getting intense.
Oh, it's been intense for me for a while. You just didn't know it yet. One of the most difficult things about troubleshooting under pressure, whether it's a client breathing down your neck or a deadline, is thoroughness. You always miss things when you're under pressure. And one of the things that I would be making sure that I'm doing at this stage is taking a second, regrouping, slow is fast. Have I missed anything I need to isolate? Say, for example, an SSD. Well, we know from the requirements that there are drives. We saw one 2.5-inch drive, which means there's some other somewhere. Okay, a more direct hint. If something's not working, there's no time. You just need to press forward. Every time something costs 5 minutes at this point, it is costing 1/9 of the remaining amount of time. You got to think about it that way. Real talk, David. At 30 minutes, do I jump in and help?
I think you should.
Is that violating the spirit of the challenge? Because they never said I couldn't help. I mean, they never said I had to do this to him at all. But will people be upset if together we achieve it? I don't want people to feel like, everything's rigged here. Because I really don't know the answers. Maybe I can help, but I can't touch it.
That's a good idea.
I can tell them what to do. Do you think that's compromise? You guys good? We good? Okay, 12 more minutes. I will start helping in earnest.
Okay, it just has to run. Does it need to be in the case to run?
Well, we did say the case panels had to be closed.
We never said that.
I did.
You did?
I did.
Why did you say that?
Well, I said that because I thought that that would be reasonable.
He was mistaken. We take it back.
No, it's established. It's canon.
Okay.
It's like the bad
Oh,
sequel
boy.
Star Wars movies. We're stuck with them. We're 8.5 minutes from the third and final envelope, and I hate to tell you this, another surprise twist.
Okay, I'm not looking forward to it.
Tech tip. 2 of the 4 screws on that motherboard are easier to access than the others. Tech tip. The panels have to be closed. We didn't say anything about components left outside of the panels. Put in only 2 screws. Go, go, go. Whatever ones are easiest. Isolation. What do we need to do now?
Storages, SSD.
We need to boot it up for longer than 5 seconds.
Right.
Keep your eye on the prize. All right.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's time. It's time. Last one.
Yeah.
A Scepter 20-inch 1600 by 900. Fake AirPods. I'm not gonna miss those. Amazon Basics keyboard. Amazon Basics mouse.
Okay, well, hey, at least you already had lost most of what you were going to lose before. But the second twist is I'm going to be helping you in earnest, with the one rule being that I can't touch it.
Okay, I'll take anything.
Let's go!
Find that damn power switch thing and put it on the damn thing. Let's go!
There's no power button. See this thing?
Power button's right here, and the orientation is this way. So the bottom 2.
Finally. Okay, that's on.
It's powered on. Okay, let's see if we get an output. Still have 26.5 minutes. We're gonna get them there. Well, we're gonna try. I'm really sorry, but if you don't complete it, I actually can't give you the computer.
I know.
Okay.
I understand.
I would power cycle it once, though. Wait, okay. Yeah. Okay, that's something.
Step 1, okay.
Okay, this tells us our M.2 drive is working. That's good. So that means that the drive that wasn't working was probably the SATA one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it looks like it's already at defaults. That's fine. So, okay, yep. So we're gonna reset. All right.
This is just one of those fun things too. Like, as a tech, I would love to do this. I would love to be like, let's try this. Like, I don't even necessarily know if I would want the computer at the end. I would just love the chance to be able to try to diagnose an issue like this.
Now let's think. What do we still need to do? We're not going to do anything we don't need. We have 24 minutes.
Hard drives?
So that hard drive must go in. It must get power. We must get this stupid SATA thing plugged in.
Okay.
Okay, however, we don't need to move that power switch. You can deal with that at home. Get it plugged into the proper thing later at your leisure, right? So just get this in, get the SATA on here, get that in, and let's see if we can get that drive detected. We've got 2 SSDs now. Excellent. Let's get the GPU in.
The timing on this.
You gotta support it at the back and push it in. Push, push, push. There you go. Yeah, it's in. Okay.
Great.
Hey, these Blender benchmarks, is this GPU or CPU?
GPU.
GPU. Okay.
And the Cinebench score is a single pass.
Single pass. Okay. Okay. Now's a good time to sanity check if our pump is working. We can do that with our ears. The answer is yes.
Yay!
I didn't have to touch it. Okay, so hardware info. What do we need to show up? All parts detected, including GPU, which we obviously have. The RAM, okay, is all of our RAM 32 gigs RAM? Is that right? That's right, yep. Drives, well, we know both of our drives are here. Make sure they're in Windows Explorer. They're not. Okay, now hold on. We gotta check the rules exactly. Have all parts detected in hardware info, including the GPU, the RAM, and the drives. We have to run the benchmarks. We don't need to get this drive detected in Windows Explorer. You can do that later.
Okay, but we need
Cinebench R23, and we need Blender with the Monster Junk Shop and Classroom benchmarks. Okay, we gotta strategize. Do we think it will be faster to solve assigning a drive? No, you know what? It's probably faster to assign a drive level.
software stored on? Is it on the M.2 or is it on?
Probably on that 2.5-inch drive. That's probably why we have to fix it.
Yeah.
Okay. What the crap?
It's not picking it up, hey?
Okay, forget it. We're not solving it then.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not solving that. Okay, so let's download Cinebench R23.
It might be already here. Is it?
Oh, there's a folder.
Here. it is.
EXE, yes. Okay, we need 37,000. We didn't turn on XMP. We might need XMP in order to get that score. We should also really have hardware info open to make sure that our CPU is not overheating. It doesn't help that our fans are pointed down at the table. We'll deal with that later. Okay, CPU package looks fine. What's our score? 37,988. Let's move on.
Okay.
Let's see if we get these scores. GPU fans definitely spinning up. All right, we need to put the side panels on. Leaning tower side panel. I consider that on.
Okay, great. Me too.
Just put it on. Just on the on the top.
On top?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just okay, on here. Put this on. So if the benchmarks don't pass, we can go back into the BIOS, enable XMP, but we already passed the CPU benchmark, so we're in pretty good shape. The one thing I'm worried about is right now, that second drive, it specifically says it has to be detected in hardware info. It doesn't say it needs to be detected in the BIOS. I didn't see it in hardware info. So let's get this benchmark done. Then we know we're clear. We have 10 minutes to figure out why that drive is showing up in the BIOS, but not in hardware info.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I'm gonna figure out if there's a way for us to cheat. Okay. Yes. Monster, in the monster benchmark, absolutely monster numbers. We passed everything we need. The last thing we need to do is we need that drive to show up in hardware info.
Okay.
So everything's validated. Let's reboot this computer.
So turn it off?
Yep. Don't worry about it. Good. Okay, we're in. Wait. Maybe I was mistaken. That drive is not. Okay, no, this is good though, because it means whatever is wrong is universally wrong. I was really worried when it was in here and not there. So I think what's going on is that cable is whack. It's
one
like
here.
bent. No, not that one. The one on the motherboard. This.
Okay.
That is like
it is bent. It is bent. You're right.
So get that?
It's very loose here.
Yeah, let's make sure that's in there. It is possible that we have actually ruined the SATA connector on that little daughter board. There's a second one. We can try that next, power it up. And then worst case scenario, I have a little trick up my sleeve. This is why they have to be really careful when they build rule sets.
Yeah.
I'm participating. Still not there. Okay, shut it down. Let's try the other port. We still got 5 minutes. What's easier at this point? Plugging the SATA connector into the daughter board and putting that in?
Yeah, or just taking the entire thing out.
What entire thing?
This
Oh yeah. Take the daughter board out, plug it in, put that back in. That might actually be easier at this stage in the game. 2 minutes. It's time for the trick up the sleeve. This is a USB to SATA adapter. Nothing says we can't use it. So, oh, sorry, I'm not allowed to touch. Get that drive disconnected.
Okay.
Just rip it out.
USB to SATA, I love it.
Plug this in.
Oh
5
no.
seconds. Oh, okay. I have to put these
on. Put them here. Faster.
Get it, man. Get it.
Something. Don't worry about it.
Go.
Storage D. There's a problem with this drive, but we don't care about that. Hold on, hardware info, quick. No, you're good. No, down here.
It's detected.
Yeah, it's detected.
You did it.
0 seconds.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's detected.
Thank you.
108. Oh boy, he cut that close.
That's crazy.
He
That's crazy.
cut that close. Wow.
Well, the letter of the law, not the spirit. Could it have come more down to the wire?
I know. Oh my god.
Anyway, don't thank me. Thank
you,
Origin
Origin.
PC. Makers of the Kronos V3, a computer that looks a lot better when they ship it to you than when I fix it. For real though, the one that you could win at the link in the video description would look more like when this started and not like when it finished, but fully functional without us having messed with it. Tanner, what the hell was wrong with that drive?
Okay, so what was wrong with that drive when I touched it was the SATA cable was unplugged. In fact, that was a lot of the problems with it. The front panel connector was also unplugged. What was the other thing that was wrong with it?
Wait, there were only 3 things wrong with it?
Well, there were also 2 software things.
Okay.
Because I had the CPU underclocked and I had the GPU underclocked, but I, on that one, forgot to set MSI Afterburner to launch on boot. So that one's on me. Okay, originally I just wanted the power the power button to be unplugged. But as soon as I tried to unplug that, the whole daughter board came out.
Yeah.
So when the whole daughter board came out, I thought, man, that sure does look like it's still plugged in. Let's just leave it. That's gonna be a thing.
The clock behind me did not help at all. Just seeing it like tick down.
Were these helpful?
No.
This was this was an innovation I came up with at the last minute.
The first one hurt the most.
Oh yeah, that Xenon Flex.
Yeah.
Mwah, great monitor, great monitor. But the good news is that even if you don't have a Xenon Flex, this is a sick computer, and now you get to take it home and build it.
I will actually tear it apart and then put it back together now.
That would be best.
Yeah.
If you guys enjoyed this video, maybe you like the energy, go check out one of our ROG Rig Reboot videos. We'll pick a nice one for you and we'll put it in the video description.
God, I love the ROG Rig Reboots. So good. Heck yeah. Alrighty then, what's up next, my friend? What in the world did you get yourself in hold of?
This is an unreleased 3DFX Voodoo 5 6000 GPU, or actually set of GPUs. We have two. It's built on a custom 80-watt Strange God board with four 166 MHz 3DFX VSA 100 Napalm chips in double SLI. It has a 66 MHz AGP 1.0 interface, 6-pin PCIe power input, 16 megabyte SDR SD-RAM chips for a total of 256 megabytes of onboard memory, and dual V BIOS for 128 or 256 megabyte memory modes. The card was doomed when it was being made by 3DFX, and it was one of their last products. And this card shouldn't exist. There's no such thing as a retail Voodoo 5 6000. They're handmade by Anthony or ZXC64, who manages to source the parts for the actual GPU, the real GPUs that 3DFX made via TSMC, and put them on a new board. As a hobby, he hand assembles and sells custom cards, including 3DFX's lost crown jewel. He designs and orders PCBs, then populates them with new old stock. They're 3DFX chips purchased in bulk, usually taking 3 days to assemble each card once they arrive. And no one has produced a Voodoo 5 6000 for over 20 years. The last people who did never shipped it. They didn't make it to market before 3DFX crumbled. And this ends up being a relic lost to time that we have the privilege of testing and showing you functional in an actual system. So this is the card we bought from Anthony ZXC64.
Nice.
We paid about $1,500 US for it, and let's get started. This video is brought to you by us and our project and soldering mat on store.gamersaccess.net. Our mat actually got used during this batch. Quality in return. Just for an idea of the rarity, it took over 3 years since the cancellation of this project for Extreme Tech's Joel Hruska to get his hands on one and produce what he called the first review of the Voodoo 5 6000. And that Extreme Tech review was back in 2003. Now, today, with the help of a collector, Anthony was able to borrow a damaged and non-functional unit. And from there, he posted Facebook updates to his ZXC64 page showing the non-destructively reverse engineering that he did and building a new card from scratch. Now, this process could technically have just been emulated. You don't have to build one of these anymore. You can fake it through basically software and some modern hardware. And this is a point that actually 3DFX's own founders pointed out in an interview.
Just out of curiosity, why are they doing that instead of emulating it?
I have no idea.
I think why is a silly question.
Yeah, it's interesting. But because they can.
And in an interview with Custom PC, ZXC64 stated, quote, "Making the PCB wasn't very complicated. I placed all the design blocks around the board and solved the puzzle that way. There were no other available variations." Now, we get the feeling that he's underselling himself here. He's gone as far as to make multiple revisions of a card left abandoned, including extended memory, PCI interfaces, a replacement for the barrel jack power plug that was originally intended to go on the back of this, and other variations as well. For example, VGA pass-through and different power configurations. And that's why we're so excited to look at this today, because this is real engineering. ZXC64 took abandoned, derelict hardware that was lost to time, reverse engineered it, and made something that works and is actually better than how 3DFX designed it with all the extra features. Before we start testing it, though, we're going to go through some of the history of 3DFX and catch everyone up to speed on what really this card is and what it was.
That's like going way deeper than I want to go in right now, just to be honest. Boy. I think that's about the bunch of the stuff I really wanted to look at this morning. I think it might be time to call the show, guys. Y'all have an excellent rest of your day, all that fun stuff. Peace.